रवि पुजारी बोल रहा हूँ। हाँ, मैंने फोन किया था उनके ऑफिस में, मैंने फोन किया था। प्रीति जिंटा से कुछ ये नहीं करे, समझे कि नहीं? You know, I am a very great fan. मैंने उसका बहुत बड़ा फैन हूँ। तो प्रीति जिंटा भी काफी खरी हुई थी।
Here the Don confirmed the Wadia FIR.
मैंने उसको वो मैसेज छोड़ा कि don't around with प्रीति जिंटा or I will the whole business.
It is the most explosive news break in the Preity Ness scandal. Underworld Don confesses on TV. Excerpts from the 39-minute tapes.
The Preity Ness Wadia case took a murky turn after many twists. His notorious gangster Ravi Pujari allegedly called and sent messages to Nusli Wadia and his employees, threatening them to stay away from Preity Zinta. In our big headlines today, exclusive tonight, we established contact with the underworld Don, Ravi Pujari, who admits that it was he who called Nusli Wadia and asked him to back off and not trouble Preity Zinta. Here are excerpts from the 39-minute long conversation.
ये चला कि आपने फोन किया और धमकी वमकी दी, जिसके बाद मुंबई पुलिस ने केस किया।
मैं मैसेज छोड़ने के बाद अगर मेरा वो लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्स दिया नहीं तो मैंने उनको एक मैसेज छोड़ा है कि भाई कि अपना एक प्रीति जिंटा से कुछ मेल प्रोफाइल होता ना आपको, मैंने वही इंग्लिश में एक मैसेज भेजा, डोंट अराउंड विद प्रीति जिंटा और बिजनेस। उसको प्रीति जिंटा से आप ये मत करो, क्योंकि मैंने 2-3 बार फोन करने के बाद मुझे रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिला, तो डेफिनेटली मेरे जैसा आदमी तो ऐसी मैसेज छोड़ेगा ना भाई।
The Don doesn't mince words. The Don's message is clear. Don't mess with Preity Zinta. 6 days after Preity Zinta filed an assault case against former boyfriend and Kings 11 Punjab co-owner Ness Wadia, textile magnate Nusli Wadia jumped into controversy, alleging threats from underworld Don Ravi Pujari. Many reports, many questions flooded the social media. Could Preity be linked to the call? Was it a countermeasure launched by the Wadias? For the first time, hear the Don tell his side of the story.
हाँ, मैंने फोन किया था उनके ऑफिस में, मैंने फोन किया था। उसके बाद उनको मैं कुछ का एक्चुअली मैं नस्ली वाडिया को नहीं किया था, मैंने नेस वाडिया के लिए पूछा था कि भाई उनका मोबाइल नंबर दे दो या तो मेरा नंबर दे दो जी, आप समझ रहे कि तो जनरल ये है कि भाई चलो प्रीति जिंटा एक बहुत अच्छा कलाकार, मतलब एक शी इज अ वेरी टैलेंटेड एक्ट्रेस है, और बस मुझे बॉलीवुड की काफी लोग है मेरे कॉन्टेक्ट में, उन्होंने बताया कि भाई ऐसा है कि भाई नेस वाडिया के खिलाफ तो कोई बात करेगा नहीं, आप समझ रहे
जी जी,
क्योंकि बहुत पावरफुल आदमी है, पॉलिटिकल है, उनके पास अंडरवर्ल्ड के लोग है, डिपार्टमेंट है, मिनिस्टर लेवल है, तो कोई बात नहीं करेगा उसके खिलाफ
जी।
तो बोला ठीक है, तो मैं बोला आप जरा उनको समझाओ कि भाई प्रीति जिंटा भी काफी खरी हुई थी, क्योंकि उसने कुछ धमकी भी दिया था प्रीति जिंटा को कि भाई तो मैं गायब कर दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा, वो कर दूंगा, यू नो, समझे कि नहीं।
While the underworld Don admits calling up the Wadias but repeatedly denies the extortion angle, rather Pujari claims to be an ardent Preity fan and made the call sensing his idol was in trouble and waging a lonely battle against the most powerful Wadias.
तो मुझे ऐसा खबर लगा तो मैंने उसको फोन किया और मैंने कोई धमकी कोई एक्सटॉर्शन हो गया तो उसने मैंने उसको बोला कि भाई ये मेरा नंबर है, मेरा सैटेलाइट नंबर है जो ईरान का नंबर बताया जाता है, ये मेरा सैटेलाइट नंबर है, तो उसको बोलो कि भाई ये नंबर लीजिए और मुझसे बात कीजिए। और मैं उसको एक जनरली मतलब उनका जो भी पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम है जो भी है, लेकिन चलो ठीक है तुम उस चीज में तुम खत्म कर दो ना।
जी तो आपने किसको फोन किया?
नहीं, मैंने फोन किया था उनके ऑफिस में फोन किया था।
अच्छा।
मैंने नेस वाडिया के लिए लगा कि शायद उसका जो पिताजी, उनके लिए मैंने पूछा। एक्चुअली मैंने नेस वाडिया को पूछा था कि मैं बोला ठीक है, अगर मैं बोला वो बाहर भी है, कोई भी देश में है, तो मेरा नंबर है, इनको बोलो तो 1-2 मिनट मुझसे बात करे, तो अगर आई शुड हैव क्लियर ना कि भाई जो भी तुम्हारा इश्यूज है उस चीज को खत्म करो, तुम उसको धमकी भी मत दो, वो एक अच्छी कलाकार है। और लाइक आई एम अ वेरी ग्रेट फैन, मैंने उसका बहुत बड़ा फैन हूँ जी स्पीकिंग। वो हो गया कि भाई मैंने किया, फोन किया तो किया, और अगर तुमने कोई लेडीज के लिए अगर कोई खड़ा नहीं हो रहा है और मैं फोन करता हूँ, नथिंग रॉन्ग, मैं थोड़ी कोई एक्सटॉर्शन मांग रहा हूँ।
Pujari went on to give us details of his call to Wadias office on the 16th of June.
ये मैसेज आपने वो नेस वाडिया के फादर को भेजा?
नहीं, उसके फादर को नहीं, उसका एक सेक्रेटरी है, दैट द लेडी शी वाज टॉकिंग विद मी इन इंग्लिश, राइट? वो इंग्लिश में बात कर रही थी मेरे से, तो देन आई जस्ट टॉक टू हर, तो बोला नो आई कैन। मैंने पहले उसको एक उसको ऑफिस में मैंने फोन किया था, लाइक शी वाज शेट्टी, कोई साउथ इंडियन थी। देन आई टॉक विद हर इन इंग्लिश, मैंने उससे इंग्लिश में बात किया कि मैं बोला कि मैं ऐसे से बात कर रहा, तो मैंने उसको पूछा दैट हूम आई एम टॉकिंग टू, मैं किससे बात कर रहा हूँ, तो उसने बताया कि मैं आई कैन सी कोई आई डोंट नो अनिता शेट्टी और सुनीता शेट्टी, कोई तो शेट्टी है वहाँ पे। तो उसने मेरे फिर मैंने उससे अपनी भाषा में बात किया जो तुलू बात करते हैं। मैंने बोला, तो बोला कौन बात कर रहा है? मैं बोला रवि पुजारी बात कर रहा भाई। तो बोले रवि पुजारी का नाम सुना है क्या? बोला नहीं ऐसा तो नहीं सुना है। तो बोला ठीक है, बोला बॉम्बे में कितने हैं? बॉम्बे में कितने है, कितने कौन लोग हैं, भाई लोग है कितने? तो देन शी स्टार्टेड लाफिंग। बोला ओके, बोला रवि पुजारी बात कर रहा हूँ। अपने तुम्हें बोला कि भाई उनको बोलो कि भाई एक मैसेज छोड़ दो या तो मुझे नंबर दे दो कि भाई डोंट मेस अप विद प्रीति जिंटा, जस्ट टेक इट इजी, समझे कि नहीं, आराम से, ठीक है, दैट्स इट। मैंने कोई एक्सटॉर्शन नहीं, कोई ऐसा कोई उसको समझाया मैंने। अभी वो आदमी को अगर समझा रहे तो वो अगर धमकी समझते तो मैं उसमें क्या कर सकता हूँ।
While Pujari denies having threatened the Wadias, a call from an underworld don can hardly be termed a friendly one.
मैंने अगर हम लोग अगर चर्चा में आने तो भाई हम तो गोली मार के चर्चा में आते ना।
The Dawn confirmation to having called up the Wadias only adds yet another layer to Preity Ness saga. With Arvind Ojha in New Delhi, Sankit Upadhyay for Headlines Today.
The first official confirmation of underworld don Ravi Pujari calling up Nusli Wadia and intimidating him. Don't go by his language. An underworld don can never be calling up just for a casual conversation. Joining us onto the point now is YP Singh. He's one of the foremost experts in Mumbai on the underworld, former police officer. Also with us is S. Balakrishnan. He's a senior journalist and one of the foremost authorities on the underworld. I want to go across first to YP Singh on what you are making of underworld don Ravi Pujari confirming that it is he who called up Nusli Wadia and threatened him, saying back off Preity Zinta or else. Mr. Singh.
I think this is more of a publicity gimmick being done by this underworld don, because they desperately need publicity. They are unable to operate in their deadly domains, in a deadly manner in their domains at the moment, because of the very stern disposition of the police. When their underworld activities have come down, they require a lot of publicity to boost their fear and aura, and perhaps pursuant to that, he must have thought it in the fitness of things to call up Preity Zinta's in the matter to Nusli Wadia and his secretary and all, and to give them a very stern advice. But what is more surprising is that the words specified in the conversation, they really do not make out a criminal case, because there is no very specific threat that he is going to kill anyone. And despite that, police have gone and registered a cognizable case in the matter. So there is something, it may be a question of chance that Nusli Wadia has been called by Pujari, but Nusli Wadia and his team perhaps have taken advantage of that in order to see that the case against them gets a bit diluted.
Okay, Mr. Balakrishnan, there were some who were insinuating that Preity Zinta got her fans in the underworld to get back at Nusli Wadia and Ness Wadia. Now it's very clear from this conversation with Ravi Pujari that he was acting as a rogue agent, as someone who was doing it of his own because he's a fan of Preity Zinta, and surely this must put to rest all insinuation that Preity Zinta was somehow involved in the call that was made to Nusli Wadia.
Rahul, one thing I would like to say before I come to the main point. One is that Ravi Pujari is anything but a don. He is a gangster with a small group of people at his disposal, basically to gather intelligence. And number two, he is like a low-cost airline in the underworld. Okay, so to call him a don, underworld don, and all that, I think it is total misnomer.
Why do you
Having
call him
said
a
that, I would
low-cost airline? Why is that? I'm very interested by the analogy you just drew.
Yeah, because there are the big guns. There is Chota Rajan, there is Dawood, there is Shakil. There are the other big guns. Compared to them, he is no patch on any one of them. He was an understudy to Chota Rajan. Then when Chota Rajan was attacked, he had a near fatal attack in Bangkok in 2000. After that, this man, he ran away from Chota Rajan because he was afraid that he'll be targeted, and now he has set up his own shop. So compared to these, the big guns of the underworld, he is really a low-cost airline. Nothing
So what
more to
impact
it.
does the Ravi Pujari case, the call, have on the Preity Zinta Ness Wadia case? Because Preeti's charges against Ness Wadia are very serious. She's taken him to the cops. Now suddenly there was an equivalence that was sought to be drawn when the suggestions were made that the Wadias themselves were under threat. Now that we're explaining the context of that threat, what impact does that have, sir, on the Ness Wadia charge leveled by Preity Zinta?
Yeah, Rahul, I would like to tell you that if you see Preeti's track record, she is not a dumbbell of Bollywood. She's an extremely articulate, very intelligent and very kind of self-respecting woman in Bollywood. She has proven in the past that she has a mind of her own. And I don't think she'll be so dumb as to approach a man like Ravi Pujari and then ask him to issue a threat and all that. I think it is totally absurd and bizarre to even suggest such a thing. Ravi Pujari, he is notorious for trying to muscle in whenever there is a kind of media opportunity is there to sell his brand equity. He has absolutely no business interfering in this matter. This is between two private people. The matter has gone to the police. Police is investigating. Who is Ravi Pujari to tell Ness Wadia or Nusli Wadia for the matter to stay off? He has got no locus standi whatsoever in this matter. This is a plain and simple game of trying to gain publicity out of this incident, because it has been there all over the media in the past few days, and this man is kind of obviously hoping that his brand will get strengthened if he does this kind of stunts and gimmicks. There's nothing more to it. But Rahul, but one thing I would like to say, but the fact that he had the gumption to take on a powerful industrialist like Nusli Wadia, it has got extremely serious implication. My friend YP Singh said he has not threatened, he has not done and all that, but the very fact that he has called up from wherever he is and asked him to stay off of Preity Zinta, this is a direct challenge. This is an implied threat to Nusli Wadia, and this has got to be taken extremely seriously by the Mumbai police and by the central government as well, because if a top industrialist in the commercial capital of the country is going to be threatened like this, is going to be treated like this by that a small
you're saying it's a threat that cannot be dismissed offhand. I want to give our viewers a sense of who really Ravi Pujari is, the background of this underworld don, so that people understand what sort of a game is he usually involved in. In fact, targeting Bollywood stars, he's the one, remember, who'd attacked the office of Mahesh Bhatt when there was a attack that took place. Okay, here it is. He is, even though he's not as big as Dawood Ibrahim, he's one of the most significant underworld criminals, gangster. He's run away from India in the mid-90s. He's wanted in over 36 cases. He used to be a part, he's believed by the Mumbai police to be holed up in Australia, even though the number on which this contact was made by Headlines Today was a number in Iran. He's fluent in English, Hindi, Kannada and Telugu. Bollywood stars, hoteliers are his favorite targets for extorting money. His past Bollywood targets have included Salman Khan, Farhan Akhtar, Akshay Kumar, Mahesh Bhatt. In fact, in that conversation, he boasts of how when Karishma Kapoor had a problem with her husband, it is he who called up Sanjay Kapoor and told him that, again, he was a fan of Karishma Kapoor and that Sanjay must behave properly with her. He openly admits targeting those linked to Dawood Ibrahim and Chota Shakil. He rose in the underworld ranks after killing his opponent, Bala Zalte, joined the Chota Rajan gang and became one of Chota Rajan's favorite proteges. But as Mr. Balakrishnan explained, he then severed his relationship with the Chota Rajan gang and moved to Dubai in the late 90s, set up his own gang. Now, what can the Mumbai police do to try and neutralize this threat? He started extorting money from businessmen. In the year 2000, he split from the Chota Rajan gang after Dawood tried to win him over. In 2006, he made threatening calls to filmmaker Mahesh Bhatt, allegedly behind the unsuccessful attempt on the life of lawyer Majid Memon. This is a brief profile of Ravi Pujari, now in the news for having made this threatening call to Nusli Wadia. YP Singh, what can the Mumbai police do? This man is away. They've got apparently the person who received that call on Nusli Wadia's phone to identify Ravi Pujari's audio recording from a past recording they had of him. Those two voice samples, we are told by our correspondents, match. What can and what must the Mumbai police do from here on?
I think in the larger perspective, Mumbai police perhaps maybe cultivating Rajan and Pujari as a part of an intelligence operation, because they are the biggest and the most potent counters against Dawood. And if the intelligence agencies want to launch an offensive against Dawood, the entire intelligence network can be used. They can use Pujari and Chota Rajan against Dawood. So that compulsion is there. There are certain imperatives which have been thrust on Mumbai police by the central government, by the central intelligence agencies, and perhaps that is the reason why here Ravi Pujari has been very, very calculated in what he said, because according to me as a lawyer, what Ravi Pujari has uttered doesn't make out an offence at all. Just because he's a gangster, and if he is tendering an advice to Nusli Wadia, it doesn't mean that a crime has been committed. He can always put up words of wisdom. Anybody would say that Wadias should not get into this because that may be to the detriment of his business. This is something very logical, and if this logical advice he is putting up, perhaps it may not be, but I may not fully agree with
suggesting that underworld dons can also give logical advice. Any call from the underworld cannot
because
be dismissed.
There is a remote possibility.
No. I don't agree with
wants to come in and comment on what you are saying, Mr. YP Singh. Yes, Mr. Balakrishnan, go ahead.
Rahul, what YP is saying that there was no threat, but the fact is that Ravi Pujari did say that if he interferes in this case of Preity Zinta, then it won't be healthy for his business. So the threat is implied. It is totally implied that he will harm his Nusli Wadia's business. He has got business in real estate, in textiles, and whatnot.
Security.
Airlines and all that.
Security Wadias. What Wadias are doing? Wadias want to put themselves as victims now. Instead of being offenders, they want to pose themselves as victims. And Mumbai police has given precious security to Wadias. Under what rule they have given? Today, if there is such a small case, somebody gets a words of advice and you take out staff from the police station, essential duties, and give them to Wadias, perhaps I think Wadias are playing a game in this.
I think it will be too premature to even jump to conclusions like what YP is doing. I mean, blaming the Wadias for it. I think we should give them benefit of doubt, and I don't think the Wadias, given their reputation, will stoop to such level as to hire some underworld to threaten. And as far as security is concerned, it is a primary duty of the police and the state to provide security to whichever citizen asks for it. And if there is a threat perception that that citizen is going to be targeted, it is indeed a duty of the state. Just like the way they have given Z plus security to Mukesh Ambani. So compared to that, what Nusli Wadia has got is only 2 sad constables, nothing more than that. But then to think that they would have, worked out all this big plot just to get Hawaldars to stand outside their office, I think it is totally bizarre to even kind of suggest such thing.
I want to go across at this time. Our Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi is also joining us on this broadcast. Sahil, what are your sources in the Mumbai police making of this conversation that Headlines Today has recorded with underworld on Ravi Pujari, and what implications does this have for the complaint that Preity Zinta has filed against Ness Wadia?
See, actually, these two are, Mumbai police is treating these two cases are separate cases, because one case, that is Ravi Pujari's threat case, has been handled by anti-extortion cell of Mumbai crime branch, and whereas the Ness Wadia versus Preity Zinta case is being handled by Mumbai's Marine Drive Police Station. So these two cases have been, first of all, being treated separately. Today, finally, Mumbai Police lodged a FIR against Ravi Pujari for threatening Nusli Wadia because the samples which Mumbai Police had today were matched, were identified by the secretary of Nusli Wadia, saying that this is the person who actually called her and tried to threaten her and asked Mr. Wadia to stay away from the whole controversy. So finally Mumbai Police has registered an FIR in this particular case. The sources are telling us that Ravi Pujari has nothing to do with the case. He is unnecessary has given a call looking at the media attention to the whole case, and in the past as well Ravi Pujari has a record that he calls people sometimes to get media attention, sometimes to by threatening people. He knows that media is going to play up that story, and because of that he is going to get the media attention. That's what the Mumbai Police sources are telling us right at this point of time, Rahul.
Okay, and when does Preity Zinta come back? There was some talk of her coming back Sunday, and when will she record her statement before the Mumbai Police? And why hasn't the Mumbai Police called in Ness Wadia for questioning so far?
See, Mumbai Police has already clarified that the earlier statement of Preity Zinta is not as adequate as for the investigation, and they think that there are certain more supplementary statements needed from Preity Zinta in this particular case. They want to know a little bit more about the incidents. They want to know where exactly this incidents happened in Wankhede Stadium. They want to know that who all were present. They have already recorded statements of witnesses mentioned in the earlier statement, like Sundar Raman, and they have confirmed Preity Zinta's story, and well, they have said that they were not present at that point of time, but yes, they have said that Preity Zinta had informed them about the whole incident. So before going on with with the section 354 and other sections applied on in this FIR, they want to be fully prepared about the case, and they want to know more details, and that is the reason why they are waiting for Preity Zinta's statement. They would definitely ask her for more witnesses, and after that, after examining those witnesses, the further action might be taken.
Okay, YP Singh, what are the penal provisions in Preeti's complaint? If the courts find Preeti's complaint to be bona fide, what penalty would Ness Wadia have to pay?
I think Preeti's complaint doesn't carry any ingredient of a cognizable offences. There are two types of offences. Cognizable means a police FIR. Non-cognizable means a non-police case where they have to directly complain to the court of law. Preeti's complaint does not reveal any ingredient of a cognizable case. It is a non-cognizable case. It is a mere altercation, and an altercation without a consideration that she is a female and he has certain sensual intentions to have spoken all these things. I don't think Preeti's complaint
Rahul,
at all is sustainable.
I don't agree with this.
Balakrishna wants to counter you, Mr. Balakrishna. What is your reading? What is your reading of the complaint and the penalty that Ness Wadia might have to pay if he is found guilty, sir?
No. Preity has said in her initial statement to the police that she was abused in public. She was abused in public in the most unparliamentary language. This is a clear-cut case of outraging the modesty of a woman. So there is an ingredient of an offence has been made out by her. When she records her supplementary statement, maybe the more details will come. But I think prima facie there is a clear-cut case of outraging the modesty of a woman. It is very much there.
No. If some woman slaps you and you slap her back, or woman abuses you and you hit her back, this is not outraging the modesty. This is a mere altercation. It is causing hurt by simple means, which is a non-cognizable offence, a non-police case. No FIR can be lodged. Police have transgressed their authority in this. They have misused their statutory powers. There is no case against Wadias as far as legal specifics are concerned. No,
according to her statement,
one at a time, please. One at a time.
Abused her.
Mr. Balakrishnan.
I think there is a very strong case. I think it's a strong case for filing a case of outraging modesty. Outraging modesty need not be a kind of physical assault.
This is a matter.
The question is not
one second. I want both of you to make concluding comments, but I want you to speak one at a time. Mr. YP Singh, you must wait for your turn and not jump in because that disrupts the rhythm of the broadcast, and I don't want everyone speaking together.
Certainly.
Mr. Balakrishnan, your concluding comments on why you believe that an offence is indeed made out against Ness Wadia if the police find Preity Zinta's complaint to be true?
Rahul, I think if you go by the statement given by Preity, she has clearly made out a case of outraging her modesty, the modesty of a woman, because of the kind of language or verbal abuse to which she was subjected to. And apart from that, her statements are now being corroborated by the officials from IPL. So it further strengthens her case. And I think that an ingredient is very much there of a criminal offence, and the police should record it under the relevant provisions of the new amended act of the IPC, and then proceed against the Ness Wadia. He can apply for anticipatory bail or whatever it is in his defense, that is his problem. But I think the police has got to do his duty, and now they're waiting for it to come tomorrow and record his punishment further. If there's a
Over the weekend, Preity Zinta is expected to give a statement to the Mumbai police. Sahil Joshi and his team will of course be tracking every development in this saga. For the time being, Mr. Balakrishnan YP Singh, thank you very much for joining us on the Ravi Pujari tapes. The first official confirmation from the Don himself that it was indeed he who called up Nusli Wadia and told him to stay away from Preity Zinta. We're heading